Thank you, Mayor Goodman. Honey, I'm not going to run with her, don't worry. I want to thank the people that put on last night. The food was phenomenal. I've heard nothing but praise. The servers, you lay a spoon down and they picked it up. These are the people working behind the scenes every day to keep this country running. Yeah, that was a party. The people that cooked the food, it was all fantastic. The people that did all this, thank you. Welcome. But to get started here, good morning. I want to welcome the delegates, guests, friends, and dignitaries to the 53rd Convention of the Operative Plasterers and Cement Masons International Union. I hope everyone enjoyed last night's welcome reception. It was great to see and talk to many of you and your families, but we must now get to the work at hand. Much has happened since the 52nd Convention of August of 2019. 5 years ago, we gathered right here against the background of anti-union, anti-worker attacks in the United States. The administration at that time was making it harder for employees to organize unions and for those unions to bargain for improvements in the workplace. And in Canada, similar anti-union and anti-worker antics were unfolding in some of those provinces. Nevertheless, the delegates did the necessary work. We returned to our local unions and international to carry on the OPC-MIA's important mission. Shortly thereafter, we faced huge challenges for both the world at large and our organization. Most notably, COVID changed the world in 2020. The virus killed friends, family, and within our organization's brothers and sisters. We witnessed as two of our countries ground nearly to a halt. Everyone was told, stay at home. However, for us and our members, that was only temporary. Plasterers, cement masons, and shop hands have been and will continue to be essential workers. From coast to coast, and everywhere in between, our members help to build and maintain the United States and Canada, and you know it because you have been a part of it. OP members build and maintain the critical infrastructure of our two countries: roads, bridges, airports, power plants, water treatment plants, and more. Our members also build and maintain manufacturing facilities that are key to many industries in both the United States and Canada. All this work has been vital to getting our economies rolling again, both during and after the pandemic. A little closer to home, our organization continued to meet and rise above its own challenges. We did not simply sit and wait for the COVID pandemic to pass. General President Emeritus Dan Stepano focused on an urgent need to develop marketing and training in our programs within our organization. He took both to new heights. The OP developed and expanded a virtual reality training program that has become the envy of other trades and industry leaders. Our two countries returned to business. The OP showcased our VR technology at industry conventions, trade shows organized by the World of Concrete and the Association of Walls and Ceilings Industry, as well as trade shows in Canada. This VR technology has been a huge success because it not only provides guests with an inside look at growing parts of our trades, such as concrete finishing, fireproofing, but it also engages them with the OP. The vision of General President Emeritus, along with the hard work of OPCMI officers and staff, from Executive Vice President Todd Lair to Vice Presidents, international representatives, field representatives, have gone far to make the OP synonymous with cementuous-based trowel trades in the United States and Canada. But I would be remiss if I did not also give credit to our members for their role in this effort. More specifically, our steel-edge women have demonstrated year after year the substantial skills and extensive training of OP-represented cement masons at the World of Concrete. I am proud to tell you that over the past couple of years, the Steel Edge Women's booth ranks as one of the most visited booths at the World of Concrete. Think about that. There were 60,000 registered guests at the most recent World of Concrete held right here in Las Vegas. The Steel Edge Women's booth got more visitors than nearly all the booths of the manufacturers, suppliers, and other labor organizations who claim to represent our trades. The Steel Edge Women, right there's one of them, demonstrate solidarity that defines what it means to be an OPCMIA member. Thank you for your example. Each and every one of us has a strong sense of our identity and a stronger bond of unity. We look at each other to extend a helping hand when needed. Take, for example, the Patrick D. Finley Scholarship Fund. The fund provides scholarships to children of OPCMI members who are pursuing degrees in higher education. Over the past 5 years, the scholarship fund has grown, nearly doubling the number of scholarships that has provided on a yearly basis. This has been possible in large part because of the gracious donations made to the fund through the Rob Mason Golf Classic. That event is the only funding source for the scholarship fund, yet it has been so successful that the fund has been able to do more and thereby ensuring the legacy of two dear friends and great leaders of the OPCMIA, General President Patrick D. Finley, Vice President, General Executive Board Member Rob Mason. And I think in the audience there's one of the scholarship recipients from this year. If you're out there, raise your hand. You slept in, I don't blame you. The OP has also established the member-to-member funds in which General President Emeritus Dan Stepano had a vision for creating ways in which we can make international working dues work for our members. The first program, a paid maternity leave benefit, sought to fill the gaps in employer and governmental policies that face our sister members to choose between having a family and having a career in our trades. The OP continues to look at different ways to help our members, whether through the member-to-member funds or through other initiatives. All of this got to me thinking about our 49th convention back in 2004. At that time, the theme of the convention was Proud, Strong, United. It defined who we are as OP members and what we have become exceptionally good at promoting who we are, especially over the past 5 years. But now we need to take the next steps. For our 53rd convention, we will return the focus to what we need to do. That is why the theme of this convention is recruit, train, retain. Those three words will serve as a game plan for the next 5 years and beyond. We need to increase. Let's start with recruitment. We need to increase our organizing efforts across the board at every level of our organization. Our marketing efforts have resulted in more and more contractors looking to the OPCMIA for well-trained, highly skilled plasters, cement masons, and shop hands because they cannot find these employees anywhere else. The demand for our members continues to grow. We need to increase our organizing efforts so that we can continue to meet the needs of both old and new signatory contractors. Our founders made it clear in the preamble of the International Constitution that we organize everyone working in our crafts. Previous conventions expanded upon that mission by adding provisions to the Constitution that call upon each and every one of us to organize the unorganized who work directly or indirectly in our trades, and we will. The OP has set a goal to expand our membership to 50,000. In the months leading up to this convention, your international association has taken concrete steps toward this goal. One such step involves the use of organizing blitzes. These blitzes bring together officers, representatives from locals and international and local unions to help to hit the streets and find the employees and work to bring them into our union. It all began in Albuquerque, New Mexico back in April of 23. A rival union filed a representation petition with the National Labor Relations Board seeking to raid our membership, steal one of our signatory contractors. The OP responded by sending boots on the ground. Our officers, representatives hit the ground running, going to projects, holding barbecues, and speaking with the members. The pitch was simple. Do you want to be represented by the only union dedicated to your trade, or do you want to be just an allied tradesperson? When the NLRB conducted that election, the vote was 16 in favor of the OP for representation and 0 in favor of the rival union. The events in Albuquerque demonstrated one undeniable fact. When we get out into the field and talk with the employees, whether OP members or unrepresented workers, we are taking critical steps to grow our membership. If there was any doubt about that, it was quickly dispelled by our subsequent organizing blitzes. Take, for example, the OP's organizing blitz in Paducah, Kentucky in September of 23. Our officers and representatives went into the area and were able to recruit enough cement masons to staff the Kentucky Lock Project, which is a $380 million project. How can we not be excited about that? In doing so, keep it going. In doing so, we not only reclaimed cement masons' work that had been lost to a rival union, but we also reestablished our presence in that area. OP represented cement masons have returned to perform work at the Department of Energy's Paducah site and the TVA's Shawnee fossil plant, only to have our members return to work on public projects in Western Kentucky region, but our organizing efforts ensured that OP represented cement masons, did concrete finishing work, and OP represented plaster, did fireproofing work at the Ascend Battery plant in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. There are many more examples of how these organizing blitzes have helped to grow and strengthen our organization, but I will get to some of those later. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge Chief of Staff Joe Santos, along with all the other officers and representatives who have participated in those organizing blitzes. Thank you, Joel. Organizing is definitely challenging work. $5. Organizing is definitely challenging work, but it is vital to ensuring that the OP remains not only the oldest building trades union, but one of the strongest. The call to organize also requires creativity in our response. To that end, OPCMIA established an organizing incentive program through the member-to-member funds. This program offers a financial benefit for any member who is able to recruit an unrepresented plaster, cement mason, or shop hand, and joins our organization and works for one of our signatory contractors for at least 6 months. Since its implementation on January 1, 2024, we have had members take advantage of the program, and it becomes more widely known. I expect it will help our organization on its way to 50K. And there is no better time to organize than right now. Over the past 4 years, President Biden's administration, we have seen the largest influx of infrastructure spending since President Franklin Delano Roosevelt led the United States out of the Great Depression. It comes at a crucial time today. 1 in 5 miles, or 173,000 total miles of our highways and major roadways, and more than 43,500 bridges are in poor condition. This is especially true in our rural communities, many of which rely upon 1 or 2 major roads or a single bridge for passage of emergency vehicles. President Biden oversaw the passage of the bipartisan Infrastructure Bill and Jobs Act, which provides a total of $1.3 trillion in this country's infrastructure. About $400 billion of those dollars will go to repair our roads and bridges. There is also the CHIPS Act and Science Act, as well as the Inflation Reduction Act. The CHIPS Act provides more than $200 billion to boost the domestic production of semiconductor computer chips in the United States. The Inflation Reduction Act invests billions of additional dollars in environmental and energy transportation projects. All of these investments will not only increase regional and national economic opportunities, but also work opportunities for our members. And to that end, the current Democratic administration, led by President Biden, has done more to ensure that these new projects, both public projects and private projects, create good-paying union jobs. They have done so by placing an unprecedented emphasis on the use of project labor agreements. The federal government has enacted rules that require PLAs on federal projects of $35 million or more with limited exception. The government has also used the laws that I have mentioned, such as the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act and the CHIPS Act, to encourage use of PLAs on privately owned projects. The increased focus on PLAs ensures that the most skilled and best trained employees work on these important jobs. I am proud to tell you that those employees include our members. One can travel across the United States and Canada and find OPCMIA members working on new infrastructure projects. We have always had a significant share of the road and bridge work in our two countries, and we always will. But now the OP has a growing presence in the energy sector too. Our brothers and sisters are pouring and finishing the concrete foundations for turbines that will become part of the wind farms along the Atlantic coast. They will be performing the work to construct new solar farms in Laredo and Houston, Texas, because our organizing efforts have led to not just one, but two signed project labor agreements for that work. Our organizing efforts also resulted in OPCMIA represented cement masons being dispatched to work at the Savannah River site in Aiken, South Carolina, where, yes, a rival union insists that they be recognized for our work, jurisdiction, and yes, this has created an issue, but we will prevail over them there and anywhere they try, because we will win. Our organizing efforts have also expanded. Keep clapping. Sorry. Where you at, Ryan? League. Our organizing efforts have also expanded the OPCMIA's presence on major new construction projects connected with the manufacturing of semiconductors and electric batteries, all of which have been made possible by the passage of the laws like the CHIPS Act. Our members are working on billion-dollar projects like the Ford Blue Oval plant in Glendale, Kentucky and Stanton, Tennessee, as well as the Stellantis Samsung plant in Kokomo, Indiana. In the near future, our members will be working at Rivian Automotive plant expansion in Aurora, Illinois, also with the Intel project in Columbus, Ohio, and Micron plant in Boise, Idaho. These are just a few examples of where OPCMIA members are working, but note the locations that I have mentioned. I have not only referred to areas where we have significant market share, like the state of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, but I have also referred to areas like Aiken, South Carolina, Boise, Idaho, and the state of Texas. All of those areas are ones in which the OP, and indeed the entire building trades, lack market share. The old phrase, a rising tide raises all ships, has a special meaning when it comes to organizing. Be sure we can continue to organize in areas where we are strong. If we want to truly grow and strengthen this great union, then we must organize in the areas where we can grow. When we increase our market share in new areas or new aspects of our trades, then we will truly be on a path that will ensure a stronger OP for our future generations of members. This brings me to training. Once we have organized new members and secured new work opportunities, we must be able to ensure that the OP, its district councils, local unions can staff those projects with qualified, highly skilled employees. The OP has been, is, and will always be the only union in the building trades that dedicates itself to the training of plasters, cement masons, and shop hands. There are exclusive focus, and for that reason, our local unions and their joint apprenticeship training programs have played an important role in developing the best apprenticeship journey person upgrade programs in our trades. That is why contractors keep coming to the OP and its local unions time and time again. Those contractors know that the only place where they can find qualified cement masons, plasters, and shop hands is within this organization. Over the past 5 years, both the International Association and many of its local unions have made significant investments in training. Those investments have taken the shape of state-of-the-art training centers, new equipment, and new tools. But those investments have also taken less concrete forms, such as updated training curriculums, new learning management systems, and research into emerging technologies such as 3D printing. At every level of our organization, we need to be at the forefront of training apprentices and journey persons. There is a lot of competition for our work, and we need to set ourselves apart from the rest. The International and all of its district councils, local unions need to ensure that we have the programs in place that enable our members to get the necessary certifications that will make it easier to perform the work of their trades. And we must always be one step ahead of our trades, keeping an eye on the new materials, processes, and systems and technologies. When the new products and processes emerge, we must be the first to develop the training programs and provide the training so that it will be our members who will be ready to perform the work. And speaking about one step ahead, that brings me to retention. We have the best organizing efforts, bringing in lots of new members, signatory contractors. We can have the best training programs for plasters, cement masons, and shop hands. However, none of that will mean anything unless we're able to keep those skilled, trained employees in our membership. Many building trades unions bring new members in and train them, only to see them leave when the work gets tight or think they can do better elsewhere. We need to be different and once again set ourselves apart from the other trades. To that end, the International has provided our officers and reps, as well as those of our district councils and locals, the tools they need to inform our signatory contractors of upcoming work opportunities and to work with those contractors to secure the work for our members. The OP is also working with local unions to encourage owners, managers to use the signatory contractors for their plastering and concrete work. Expanding the opportunities for our membership is the surest way to retain our members in this organization. Once our contractors have the projects in hand, we must do our part to make sure that the work goes to our members. To do that, we must vigorously defend every aspect of our trade jurisdiction. There are too many out there that are willing to do our work for us. We must make sure that we are involved in every aspect of these jobs. OP CMIA locals must have a seat at the table of the building and construction trades councils that negotiate the project labor agreements. OP agents must be at the pre-jobs to claim that work that belongs to our members. And both international and local representatives must follow up to ensure that our members are doing the work and demonstrating the high quality that our organization is known for around the United States and Canada. This must be done by going to the sites and putting eyes on it and communicating with the membership the importance of doing all the work offered to them. That is the game plan: recruit, train, retain. We have the tools in place. We have the boots on the ground. There is a lot of work ahead for us. If we step up at every level of this organization, then we will ensure that our membership will have the work in front of them. We will ensure that they, just like us, are able to achieve the dream of being able to provide a good life for themselves and their families. Before I conclude my remarks, I would like to direct your attention to the retirement of two ladies who have faithfully served our organization, one of them for over a half-century. 5 decades ago, Linda Leonard came to work for the OP. Now, many of you know, not many people stay at a business for that long. Not many, if any. Peggy Mulligan, who retired just a month before Linda, worked in service of the OP for over 20 years. Although I don't know what it says about me because the two longest tenured executive assistants both retired shortly after I became GP. Honey, stick with me. Please join me in applause for those remarkable individuals and the commitment and loyalty they have given to the members that we represent and this great organization. And by the way, that honey was to my wife. Now we have turned the page to a new chapter. This week is a culmination of work that has been done by people behind the scenes. These are the unsung heroes, from the staff left behind at headquarters keeping the lights on to the staff here to see the events unfold. The workings of this great convention were brought to you by Sharon Gray, April Cohen, and Matt Hurd. The amount of work that goes into making last night the success it was, and the success I know this week will be, is unbelievable. Sharon, my executive assistant, thank you for your commitment to making this a successful and memorable experience. April Cohen, executive assistant to the General Secretary Treasurer, thank you. And least I forget Matt Hurd, our office manager, and the man who consistently and thankfully keeps this organization moving forward. Thank you. They have worked tirelessly to give us this week. In closing, I would like to thank my families, both my union family at Local 518, who believed in my vision for 17 years as the business manager, 2 years as the president, and 3 years on the executive board. Without their confidence, I would not be here today. I would further like to thank my family, of which many are here, my 4 sisters and baby brother, who unbeknownst at the time helped formulate my character. But my final and most important thanks is to my wife, Angela, and our children. We have been through many challenges through our marriage, but none greater than the last few years. Angela, along with our children, Brandy, Amanda, Kenneth, Hannah, Jacob, Grace, Lillian, a whole bunch of grandkids, 11 of them, Devin, Andrew, Dylan, Connor, Cole, Fallon, Big Al, where you at? Claire, Caleb, Kristen, little Hank, and one great-grandson, Kieran. Keep me grounded, knowing full well I'm just a country boy from Missouri with a determination and a work ethic instilled by my father and mother. Thank you, and I love you. Now let's get to work.